This is a familiar sight on the highways between Antwerp and Brussels. Taken together, the traffic jams can add up to hundreds of kilometres. Over 300,000 commuters drive into and out of the Belgian capital every weekday, making it one of the most congested cities in the world. BART DENOOT is a manager from Aalst, about 40 kilometres outside Brussels. During midday, it's a short hop, but during morning rush hour, it can take as long as an hour and a half. He's moved a large part of his office out of Brussels to Groot bij Gaarden in Flanders.
We have an enormous mobility problem. It's getting harder and harder to get the employees, especially the ones from Flanders, to come into the office here in Brussels.
The Brussels area infrastructure is obsolete. Plans to expand it have been in the works for years with little progress. Heavy goods traffic has also been on the increase, with trucks inching their ways to the ports of Antwerp and Rotterdam. It's becoming clear that expansion alone is not the answer. Concepts for traffic control are urgently needed.
Our traffic problems can no longer be solved by building new roads. The possibilities are limited and too expensive. The only real solution is to motivate people to take other means of transportation or drive at other times. For that, all we have are systems like flexible toll or the kilometer-based charge.
The first trial versions of this toll system are already rolling. BRUNO van ZEEBROECK is one of 200 test subjects.
Now we're entering the highway. The toll is now at 2.9 cents per kilometre.
The device uses satellites to track where people drive and when, calculating the toll per kilometre. The closer to Brussels, the higher the toll, and it's highest during rush hour. The idea is to relieve some of the pressure during peak traffic periods.
We have to get 1 out of 5 cars off the roads. We think we can. Many trips are just too short, less than 5 kilometers. Some of those trips could be covered on foot, or at least with public transportation. We just have to get people to change their habits.
It could be a viable solution for Brussels. Many buses and trams are old but still functioning well enough, as long as they're not stuck in traffic. But outside Brussels, public transportation is not so good. Construction of a new commuter rail network was announced with much fanfare, but it's still unfinished. The overcrowded trains are even slower now than they were 80 years ago. It's not that easy to move cars out of the city, and opinions are sharply divided.
The traffic here in town is awful. The cars don't even let the pedestrians through. With the constant jams, too much traffic.
I think they do everything they can to block the traffic. That's no good. Businesses suffer.
The one thing everyone agrees on is that something must be done. Statistically, every Belgian wastes an average of 72 hours a year in traffic, or 3 full days. Is a flexible toll a solution?
I'm certain it's a solution that would reduce traffic in and around Brussels.
If they're going to charge a fee to drive to Brussels, they'll have to offer alternatives. One is public transportation, and to be honest, there's still a lot to be done there.
An internet petition against the proposed toll collected 170,000 signatures almost immediately. That caught politicians' attention. With elections coming up in May, more and more are turning against the toll. It appears traffic reform has hit a jam.